Alright, so welcome back to another episode. So in our previous episode, we saw how to change the fonts, how to change the apply font styles and then increase the font size. Now, so here, after applying all the changes to the title, let's come to the information that we have here. So here we have my name is Nana Kwame. We want to perform some one or two things on Nana Kwame. So let's only highlight Nana Kwame from the main sentence. So let's increase our fonts, uh, text a little. We are zooming in. So here, when you highlight Nana Kwame, you could see over here we have the strike through. Strike through simply means it should cancel out, right? So when you click, you see it will just cancel it like that. That is one. Let's click back to deactivate. We'll come back to the subscript and then the superscript. Then you could see these two ribbons here. This is the alternative for the increasing of the font size. So if you don't want to use this one, you can equally use these ones. So when you click on it, on the bigger A, you could see it will be increasing. When you click on the one on the right, which is the smaller one, it will be decreasing. Then we have the text effects. That is, if you want to apply some special effect to your text, you can equally click on the drop down like this. Then you choose any of the font text effects available here. If you want to choose the outline, if you want to choose the glow, whatever that you wish to apply to your text, you can click. But right now, we are not going to apply any of them to our text. Then here we have the text highlight color. So the highlight color, mostly we use the highlight color to lay emphasis on a word. It's mostly add adds a color to the background of the text. So when we click on the drop down and then we choose any of the color here, which is the turquoise color. So when I click, you could see the background of Nana Kwame has changed to that turquoise color here. So we use the text highlight color to lay emphasis on a word. So let's highlight this once again, and then here if we want to change the font or the text highlight color, which is the background, you can equally click on the drop down here and then you can choose no color to remove it. So when I click no color, you could see it's now gone. There's no color there again. So let's highlight again. So with the highlighting, if you're highlighting, you can equally drag across, or you can use the shortcut shift and then the navigation keys. When we say navigation key, I'm talking about the up, down, left and right. That is the arrow keys, right? So after highlighting again, we have here the font color, right? This is the font color. So with the font color, if I want to change the font color for Nana Kwame by default, which is black, I can just click on the drop down and then choose any of the available colors here, right? So any color of your choice, you can just click to select to change it. So when I click on this, you could see it has changed the font color like that. So if I want to change it again, I can click on the drop down and then come back to my automatic, which is the black, and then we have our default color. Then we have the change keys. This is if you want to change it to uppercase, lowercase, toggle keys. Let's click on the drop down. So you could see sentence keys, lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word, right? So if I click on the sentence keys, it still remains the same. We have sentence keys, which means the first character must always be in uppercase, then the rest will be lowercase. That's sentence case. Then we have the lowercase, which means it should convert everything to lowercase. So you could see it has changed even the Kwame to the K to small k. Then we have the uppercase. When we click, you could see Nana Kwame in uppercase like that, right? So when I click on the drop down, we have capitalize each word. Capitalize each word means the first character for every word will be in uppercase. So when I click, you will see Nana Kwame. The first N is in uppercase, that of the Kwame 2. Then we have the toggle case, which is actually the opposite of capitalize each word. So you see the first character will be in lowercase, then the rest is in uppercase. So that is on uh, how to change the case, right? Now, after looking at this, let's come back to the paragraph group where we are going to look at the alignment. Now, with the alignment, we have the left, by default is left, we have center, we have right, and we have the justify. So the shortcut for the left alignment is Control L, right? The shortcut for the center alignment is Control E. The shortcut for the right alignment is Control R. The shortcut for the justify is Control J. Letter J, J for Jesus, so Control J. So here, I want to center align myself. I want myself to be at the middle of the page. So first of all, I will need to highlight like this. So when I highlight, if I don't want to use the shortcut, which is Control E, then I need to use the mouse or the cursor by clicking on this, and then it will move it to the center like that, right? The same thing applies to the text that I have here. So if I highlight on this, the first sentence, which is my name is Nana Kwame, and then I want it to be at the right side. When I click on the right alignment, it will move it to the right side of the page. Let me zoom out a little. So zoom out. So it has moved to the right side of the page. If I want it to be at the center, when I click, it will be at the center of the page. If I want it to be at the left, when I click, it will be at the left side of the page. Now, before, I think I said I would teach something, but I think it has escaped me. So we need to look at that before we finish up with the alignment. So here, let's look at the subscript and then the superscript I spoke about. Now, I'm sure we know the chemical compound, something like for water, something like for, let's say, magnesium, for ammonium and all that. Or if you want to write something in indices 2 raised to the power something, then we need to use the subscript and then the superscript. So here, I want to write the chemical compound for water, which is H2O, right? So scientifically, if you are writing, then the 2 will have to fall below the H. You cannot write it like this, H2O. It's very wrong. The 2 will have to fall below the H. So when I type my H, then the first thing I need to do is I'll move my cursor to the subscript, which is this one. So once I click, the cursor will fall below the H, then I'll hit 2. Now, once you've activated the subscript, anything that you type will fall below the H. So once you're done, you need to click back on your subscript to deactivate. And then you click back, you press on your O. So I have my H2O, right? So that is how we apply. Then let's say I want to write 7 raised to the power 2. You cannot write this. This is 72. So first I will type my 7 and then I'll move my cursor to the superscript. I'll click on it like this, and then the cursor will move a little to closer to the top of the 7. So when I hit 2 like this, you could see 7 raised to the power 2. Now always you need to remember that once you've activated this superscript, anything that you type will appear in that format. So you need to click back on it to deactivate. Good. So that is on subscript and superscript. So let's get back here. So after seeing the alignment, right, we also have the justify. So when I highlight on myself again, and then I click on this one, which is for justify. Now with a justify, it wouldn't move. Justify simply means that anything that you type is going to be in line. That is from one point to the other point on the page, right? All the edges are going to be filled, so it wouldn't move the text to anywhere. So let's click back to deactivate it, but later we'll look at how to apply. So here, after looking at the alignment, now let's look at the line spacing. So we have here line spacing and paragraph spacing. So by default, let's click on this drop down. By default, we could see the line spacing here, which is 1.0 here. So let's say that we want to change the line spacing that we have. So you need to highlight on the sentences. So from the last sentence to the first one like this. Then I'll bring my cursor here to the line spacing. I'll click on the drop down, and then I'll click on remove space after, but that's how I want my spacing to be done, right? But you can choose any of them if you like. So I have remove space after paragraph because I want them to be together so that I'll be able to create the spaces myself. So that is how we apply the line spacing. Then we have the next one, which is bullets. So we have here, this is bullets, and then we have the numbering, right? So here, let's say, so I want to type something like list of animals like this. So I want to underline. First, you need to highlight. If you are using shortcut, it's Control U to highlight. Then I'll come back here. So once I come here, once I come to the next line, now I want to apply bullets. So I can click on this drop down like this. So I have the bullets over here. These are default bullets. You can also define your own bullets, but we are not looking at that. So the bullets that we have here, I'm going to use any of them. So I'll just click on one, and then you could see it's indicated here. So it's we mostly apply it in the form of listing, right? So list of animals. So first I'll type ants. When I hit enter, the bullet will come again. Then snake, hit enter, I have lion, enter, I have the eagle, enter, I have the tiger, right? Now when you hit enter, the bullet will still appear. So how do you deactivate? You can, the only thing that you need to do is just hit the enter key twice, right? So 1, 2, and then it will deactivate it. Then let's look at the numbering as well. So we have here a list of birds, right? So let's highlight, underline with Control U. Now mind you, most of the times when you apply the bold, sometimes it always happens that the next thing that you're going to type will be underlined. So you need to press on Control U again to deactivate the underline. Now let's come back here. So these are bullets. Let's look at our numbering. So when I click on the drop down here, you could see the numbers here, right? So we have 1 to 3 with full stop, and then 1 with parentheses, Roman numerals, and then alphabets. So any of them that we wish to apply or we wish to use for what we are going to type, you can equally just click to apply like this. And then here I will just start. So birds, we have the vulture, we have the eagle once again, we have the parrot once again, we have what kind of bird again? Yes. I think we have a crow. Yes. So when I hit enter 2 times, my numbering will be deactivated. So that is all.